The third step that I'll often take after I examine them and then begin to status the comments is to really decide my priority list for changes. So I've gone through them, I have a sense of them, I've statused them. There are actually some comments left here that I'm not sure what to do with, and so I'm going to scroll back up, and for example, Edna Jones has highlighted some text, but she hasn't told me why she's highlighted that text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a check mark. Now I'll click here to add the check mark. Again, this is Acrobat saying check marks don't really mean anything unless you decide them to mean something, so don't expect them to mean something unless you decide them to mean something. Yes, Acrobat, I understand, so I'm going to go ahead and select Don't Show Again and click OK. But you know, the message there is actually very important. Acrobat is a tool that you should use to meet your needs, not the other way around. And what I'm doing is I'm using this check mark as a very specific way to note comments that I need more information about. So I'll continue down through. There are a couple of other notes that might meet that criteria. For example, Sam has outlined a couple of things, and it's not obvious what he wants me to do, so I'm going to go ahead and put check marks next to those things. The reason I've done that, though, is so that I can begin to filter the comments. And filtering the comments is just a way of looking at specific comments only based on something that you know about them. To start, I'll come over here to Show, and under the Show menu, I can select to Show by checked state. I only want to show the checked comments. The other comments aren't comments that I need to know anything about. I understand them. I want to keep them, but I want to hide them. And this is Acrobat saying, you know, you've only just hidden them. It's not that they've gone away, but some of the comments that you have in the document aren't visibly showing. Again, I'll select Don't Show Again, click OK. Now what I can do with this is open these up and start to dig into the process a little bit. And I'm going to expand this even a little more. Maybe that will provide some information that I need. It really doesn't, so what I need to do is get on the phone with Edna and start to ask questions. Or I have a tool in Acrobat that I can use for that purpose as well, and that's the Reply tool. So I'll select Edna's comment, and I'm going to click Reply. And I'll expand this window just so we have a little bit more room to work with. In response to Edna's comment, I need to ask her what she means by highlighting the word treatment. All I'm going to do is simply ask, what do you mean? If I wanted to, I could save the document right now and email it back to Edna by clicking this button here, which is the attach PDF to an email and send, but I'm not even going to do that. That's a useful thing to do if I have a lot of commenters. I might go through and add replies to several different comments requesting some further information or some details that are lacking. Instead, what's probably better is to get on the phone with Edna and ask her the question live. Edna, what did you mean by this? However, what I've done here is I've created a reminder to myself or a workflow tool to myself in Acrobat that I can use by collapsing all of these. Remember, these are only the checked comments that are visible right now. I can open them up, and one by one, I can start to move through them. Now, when I've talked to Edna and she's provided me information that I need, I can put a check mark here. So I can use the check mark in sort of a two-tiered way to indicate A, that I have a question, B, that I have an answer, and then when all is said and done, I can select the comment and come back over to Status and choose Review, Accepted. And that way, I've been able to indicate to myself what the comments mean, what changes I think I'm going to make based on it. I can take notes to myself. I can get on the phone and collaborate with somebody and then capture the notes of that collaboration essentially within this one PDF file.